We were planning our end-of-year upgrades that we do every year. With all payroll systems, you need to plan and test your upgrades before you put them into production. The payroll systems are not something you can muck around with. We basically had to move the system into the cloud. To do that, we had to change the OS that it was running on, as well as once we got it on there, then we had to upgrade to the latest version so that we were compliant before end of financial year. The AWS system allowed us to be able to experiment with different ways of doing that. We eventually settled on the system, the database, the spec of the servers, the flexibility we had to experiment up and down with our speeds. Our infrastructure there was fantastic. Once we had settled, we had a version of the system that we were happy with. We could then practice and re-practice the actual process of moving across, preparing for our production cutover. Simple processes that used to take half an hour to calculate a whole payroll, they're now down to 8 minutes. Our backups, they don't stop the system for 6 hours anymore. Our users can now log into their employee self-service at any time of the day. In a disaster recovery situation, that used to be a full day job. Now we can bring up another version of our system within minutes.
We've had the migration team on site for over 12 months, and we now have Versent Managed Services on site to help us. They work constantly with both our team and the product teams to educate them on cloud and its benefits and the correct way of working.
We've been able to drive a 5% reduction in our costs on the way to cloud over and above the business case that we stood up.
I look at the costs every day so that I can see little changes and prevent cost spikes. Many months ago, where one of our teams was experimenting with Lambda, we got a cost spike that made the cost for the day double. And as soon as I saw that, I went and spoke to the team. So they changed the way that they approached that particular problem and went to a different solution. Now, if we didn't have the information, they could have continued on that path and caused a multitude of unnecessary expenses for Boral.